Hello everyone, so let's resume our topic. So in the last video lecture we have seen the types construction of transformer, what is transformer and what are the different types of transformer. Let me show you once again, right? So what is transformer, what are the different types of transformer, and then what is the general construction of the transformer, right? So it has two parts, right? Coils and then core. We have seen the laminated core constructions and the construction of the two basic types of transformer, right? That is core type and shell type. So let's start with the next topic, that is working of the transformer. Okay, so it is a very important topic, right? So here we will see how the transformer work and what are the different principles which is used in the operation of the transformer. Okay, so before that, let us understood this diagram, right? Because the working of the transformer is entirely depend on this diagram. Okay, so here you can see there are two windings, right? Primary winding and secondary winding. So the left hand side is a primary winding, written V1 and E1, right? V1 is the supply voltage, and E1 is the EMF induced because of that winding. V2 is the voltage across that load. Okay, the load is represented by Z. I hope you understood. You remember what is the meaning of the Z. Z is nothing but impedance. Okay, so it is acting as a load here. Current flowing in the primary winding is I1. Current flowing in the secondary winding is I2. Right. Then flux, you can see flux is denoted by phi, and that small m represent maximum flux. Okay. So it is a maximum flux, and that is a flow of the flux basically. Okay, it is flowing in the clockwise direction. If you will see the direction of the flux in the core, right? Core is nothing but the frame type structure is nothing but the core. The frame that you can see in the picture, this frame, right? So this frame is nothing but the core, and these are the windings. Okay. Okay, so let's do. Okay, so let's start with the working. Okay, first I will explain you, and then we will go through that. Okay, now what will happen when the supply is given in the here, when the main AC supply is given to the here, right? AC supply. What will happen? The AC current will flow in this winding, right? AC current. Okay. Now what will happen when the AC current will flow in that winding? We know that EMF induced. Okay. So Faraday's first law, right? When the flux is flowing in the winding, right? When the flux is flowing, and if that flux is changed, that is alternating, then EMF is induced, right? So EMF will induced, right? Okay. Fine. So that EMF which is inducing, that is E1. Okay. Now that flux which is when we will supply, what will happen? The flux will generate it. That flux will travel through the core from primary to secondary. Right. I am repeating once again. What will happen when we will give the supply to the primary winding, AC supply? Then AC current will flow in that winding. And because of that AC current, this flux will get generated, right? And that flux will move from primary side to secondary side through the core, right? So you can see the direction here, right? That is a flux. Flux is generating here, and it is moving through the core towards secondary side. Okay. Now, when the flux will travel from primary to secondary, and when it will link to the secondary winding, right, what will happen? That flux is a changing flux. Changing here means alternating flux. That is a variable flux, right? When that flux will link to that coil according to the EMF, according to Faraday's law, what will happen? The changing flux will induce EMF, right? So what will happen? The flux which is linking here, because we are not giving any supply to this winding, right? But because the flux is traveling from primary to secondary, and when it will link to the secondary, and that flux is also changing flux, that is variable flux, then according to Faraday's first law, what the Faraday's first law said? Whenever the flux link with the coil changes, right, or we can say that whenever the changing flux, that is variable flux, link with the coil, EMF get induced in that coil, right? So because of that, what will happen in this winding, according to that law, what will happen in this winding, EMF will get induced. Why? Because flux is linking here, and that flux is a variable. So because of that, EMF will induced, and because of that, what will happen? Current will start flowing in that load, right? So this is basically a working of a transformer. So our definition was, it is a static device, right? So here it is a static device, there is not any moving part, and it transfer electrical energy from one AC circuit, right? From one AC circuit to another AC circuit, right? So it is a one AC circuit, this is another AC circuit, with increase or decrease in the voltage or current, but without changing its frequency. So remember one thing, the voltage which we have supplied here, okay, the voltage which we have supplied here, maybe the value of that voltage will be increase or decrease, but frequency will remains the constant, okay? Frequency will always be constant. If suppose the frequency here is 50 hertz, so at the output also or at the load also we will get the same frequency. But yes, the voltage or current may be increased or decreased, depends on the number of windings of the transformer, okay? Fine. So let us go through the working of the transformer. As soon as the primary winding is connected to a AC supply, AC current starts flowing through it, right? Primary AC supply is given to that winding. So what will happen? AC current will start flowing through it. So AC primary current produces an alternating flux in the core, right? Most of this changing flux, right? So changing flux means here variable flux link with the secondary winding through the core, right? So it will travel through the core, and it will get connected, or it will get joined to the secondary winding, that is linked with the secondary winding. This changing flux will induce voltage in the secondary winding according to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Okay, so this is a working of the transformer. So I hope everything is clear. So the last line is very important. This changing flux will induce voltage in the secondary winding, right? According to the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So I just advise you that before understanding of this topic, or before going through this topic, just revise Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Okay, that is in the chapter 2. In the chapter 1. Okay, so let me remember that it is in the chapter 1. Yeah, correct. It is in chapter 1. So in the chapter 1 you will first understood what is Faraday's law, and then you will study this topic, that is working of transformer. Then it will help you a lot. Okay, so let's see next topic. EMF equation of transformer. Okay, so there is a one EMF equation also. Let us see what is EMF equation. E1 is equal to 4.44 F. F is nothing but the frequency. N1 phi m. Okay, what do you mean by N1? N1 is nothing but the number of primary winding. Okay, this one, primary winding. And phi m, right? Phi m is nothing but the maximum flux which is flowing in that core. See here, it is written phi m, right? So phi m is the maximum flux that is flowing in the core. Okay. So here the meaning of each notation is also given, right? Where N1 is the number of turns in the primary winding, N2 is the number of turns in the secondary winding, phi m is the maximum flux in the core in Weber. Okay, so what do you mean by Weber? It is a unit of the flux. And F is the frequency of the AC supply in Hertz. Okay, so Hertz is a unit of the frequency. So this is the EMF equation of a transformer. Okay, now depend on this the equation, right? What will happen if we will divide both this equation, that is E1 and E2? What will happen if we will divide these two equations, right? Don't you think that 4.44 F and phi m, these three terms will get cancelled? Okay. So don't you think we will get E1 upon N1 is equal to E2 upon N2, right? And that this equation is also known as transformation ratio of a transformer. Okay, that is K. Right? This constant K is known as a voltage transformation ratio. Right? Now here, if N2 is greater than N1, right? If N2 is greater than N1, that is K is greater than 1, then the transformer is called as a step up. Right? Right? Why? Because if N2 is greater than N1, then E2 is greater than E1. Right? Because if from the above equation, if N2 is greater than N1, then E2 is also greater than E1. Right? That is secondary winding is is larger than primary. Right? So don't you think if primary have a small, suppose primary voltage is 2 volt, right? And secondary have 4 volt. So voltage is increasing. I'm just giving an example. Basically, not deal with 2 or 4 volt, right? It is for high volt. So let's suppose primary have a 50 volt and secondary have a 100 volt. So what will happen here? Voltage is increasing, and we know that if voltage is increasing, then it is nothing but a step up transformer. Okay. In the same way, if voltage is decreasing, right? That is N2 is less than N1. Means N1 is bigger and N2 is smaller, right? That is, so suppose primary is 100 volt and secondary is 50 volt. That here voltage is decreasing. So in that case, we can say that is a step down transformer, right? So in simple, if K is greater than 1, right? Because if numerator is bigger and denominator is smaller, then we will always get the value more than 1. So if N1 is K is greater than 1, then the transformer is a step up, and if K is less than 1, then the transformer is step down transformer. Okay, so let's stop here. In the next lecture we will do the next topic. Thank you.